Hello, this is a note, part 4 of a series that we're making on a video demonstration of plotting, chart plotting using qtVlm, and the index and explanation of this series is in the description. And in this one, I want to discuss just one thing: measuring range and bearing. This is fundamental to chart plotting, and there are several ways to do that in qtVlm. But I just noticed when I started here that we have a whole bunch of things that are on the chart that were from previous work. And so I thought, well, let me just clean this up and just show some tricks you can do. One of the things we're going to use are these pathways like that as a way to measure range and bearing between points. And then the pathway link controls are up here: pathway, create a pathway, edit a pathway, delete a pathway. Right, I want to delete all those that we've got, and it looks like there's those. I can just left click and drag that and remove. Oh, yes. So now that removed the pathway, but it left all those marks, the POI, point of interest, or I just call them marks, waypoints or marks. Now there's another really neat, one of my favorite tricks with this whole program is you can push this button up here at the top and draw a box like that, escape, or you can just hold the shift key down and draw a box like this. So when I draw a box like that, that's the same thing as using that blue one, but then I can right click and say delete all marks and say yes. And so that is, oh, this guy didn't go away. Now why he didn't go away is he's probably locked. So you say edit, yeah, he's locked. Now I can delete it and say yes. Okay, so that's just it. Now, okay, so let's get to measuring range and bearing between 2 points. One of the ways to do this is to use the ruler tool, and that's the quickest and simplest. And but you'll see pros and cons. So let me right click here. Let's just say I want to know. Let's say from this what is this units here on sounding. Well, let me just address that. I see a 10 here, and I want to know what are the units of that chart. Now I'm on a different topic here, but let me just talk to chart information here. The units are fathoms. Okay, that's a chart information link. Right click, chart information, fathoms, close. Okay, so let's say I want to know from the 10 fathom mark over to the shore. So I can just put the right click it, and then a ruler tool, and then you go over to the shore. Let me come back later and explain why that went red. It's marking. The ruler tool does other things too. It lets you know when you're going to hit something, and here it hits the land. But the distance is 1.75 miles, and the direction is you got both the magnetic and the true, 122.7 degrees magnetic. And so likewise, I can go up here and do that. Now you can also double click and draw that. Then you're seeing two things. You're seeing the distance of the last leg, and then you're seeing the total. That total means up and across like that. So that's the ruler tool. Ruler tool is very valuable. Now you can run the ruler tool just any place you want from here, ruler tool like that, escape. Or you can do from the boat. If I'm on the boat, I could just say ruler tool. Then I'm measuring distances precisely from the location of the boat. And you could do that. Or if you had a waypoint, like here, new mark, say okay, there's a mark, and then I can take this mark and right click it and say ruler tool and measure precisely from that mark like that. Okay, so that's the ruler tool, and it's very fast and very powerful. You'll use it continually underway and in working the exercises, but it's temporary, goes away. If we want to measure something more permanently, we could then use a pathway. And so you would go up here and create a pathway like that. And the only thing you really need to do is say start from the first mark, and then say OK. And then let's say here's not OK, excuse me. Pathway, create a pathway, and then append from the first mark and append POIs. Oh, I've already used the name pathway. Okay, pathway 1. Or it doesn't matter what you call these, like that. From the first mark. Okay, append. Now, then I can do this and this. Let's say I just do those 2 points. Now I'm going to hit escape. So now I have a sort of a ruler, a permanent ruler on the chart table there. And if I put my mark on there, I see it's the direction with a little arrow pointing is 76.3 degrees, and the distance is 3.6 nautical miles. Now it's repeating it twice, because there's only one. If I appended this, like I right click and say append, that means I'm going to add another one up here, say, like this, and escape. Now, when I do this, what I'm seeing now is the length of the last leg, that's 1.9 miles, this one here, 1.9 miles, and that the total length from here to here to here, that is, 5.5 miles. But then it's telling me the distance made good. That's like from here to here, 3.2. Now I could check that by just going a ruler tool over to here, and you see that's 3.2 miles. So that's what you're getting when you do several steps. For example, if I append again, append, and then put another one here and another one here and another one here. So now escape ends that process. Now I've got a very short distance, between these two, the 1.4 miles. Okay, so that's using the pathways and what all they do. And if I want to get rid of them, I could just do again the shift key, draw that box, and delete all marks. Yes, okay. I deleted all the marks. And when I delete the marks, that's going to delete the pathways between them. Okay, now, so there's one other way you could do it. You could connect two, you could have a mark here. Let's call it A, say, or AA. And we have a mark there. And let's say over here, we have a new mark, and that's BB. This is just another way, okay. That's AA and BB. Where's AA? Right here. Now, what I could do is I can right-click this mark and go down to more options and draw a line to another POI. Now I can change what color I want the line, how thick I want it, and I could draw a rhumb line or a great circle. That's not going to make any difference here. But if I say OK, now I've got, it's telling me the range and bearing between those two marks. And it's telling me the great circle and the rhumb line, but that doesn't really make any difference when the things are that close. If you're out here in the ocean, let's go out in the ocean here a little bit. Now, let's see what I get with my ruler tool. Yeah, the ruler tool also does both, but I've got to let me go way out here. Yeah, okay, whoa, escape. Here's my ruler tool. Okay, now you see what you're looking at with the ruler tool or with the range and bearing between 2 points. You get two things. You're getting the distance and the distance between them. The top one is a great circle. That's the shortest distance between the two on the globe, spherical globe. The bottom one is a rhumb line distance, which is the straight line on a Mercator chart. So you could point your boat in that direction and keep that exact true heading, not magnetic, exact true heading all the way there and get there. But it's going to be a little bit longer. It looks like it's 100 miles longer to go that way. But if you went up over the top of the Great Circle route, you would have to change your course every once in a while. And the number that's given here for the Great Circle heading is the initial heading at the beginning. All right, so those are 3 ways to measure the distance, range and bearing between 2 points.